The explosive collapse of crypto exchange FTX has sent shockwaves across the industry and has costed millions to people. It's the thing that everyone speaks about lately, and whenever you turn on the news, on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere, the FTX collapse is prevalent. But what can we learn from such a collapse? Are there any lessons that could make us wiser investors so that we don't repeat the same mistakes on the next one? In this video, I'm going to share with you the personal lessons that I took from FTX and its collapse that are applicable also to other investment strategies or investing assets. One of the most important lessons that I actually took from the FTX collapse is that we should always be aware of false prophets who out of the blue come there to save us with their genius and funny haircuts. This way was son Bankman-Fried portrayed to be, this genius guy that had everything sorted out, and he had a funny haircut because he was contrarian and he was against the establishment, the prophet, right? So always we have to be aware of false prophets that come, and they appear to be too good to be true, and they appear to have everything sorted out, whilst in reality they have nothing figured out. Another important lesson that the FTX collapse has taught me is the fact that you should always ignore celebrities, especially when they're shilling things. In this instance, we had all the sorts of celebrities, from Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, you name it, promoting FTX, and the prophet, Sam Bankman-Fried, the genius behind all of it. The analogy that I would say is that you don't ask from a haircut stylist to give you an advice on real estate, or you will not ask for your car dealer to give you an advice on the weather tomorrow, right? These things are completely unrelated, and therefore you should always ignore celebrities that have nothing to do with the space. Another thing that I observe with the FTX scandal is the fact that everybody is wise after the fact. The same fans that were really in a hurry to praise this prodigy and genius are the first ones who are there to bury him with criticism and be like, oh, we all knew this from the start, which in essence is not true, because had they known it, they wouldn't have lost their money. So, as Warren Buffett says, and it's usually widely quoted but never acted upon it, you should only invest on what you really know about. Another lesson that I've learned from this scandal, and also the previous bull runs that I was involved, is the fact that you never know how long a crash may last. And there may be people around advising you to go in and buy the dip, but you don't know for how long things may be dipping down. And at this point of time, it is crucial that you let the dust settle, and then with a clear mind decide on what your strategy would be, whether that will be DCA or whether that will be another strategy that you will draft based on your finances, and always whatever you can afford to lose and nothing more than that. The FTX collapse made me realize that we should always be aware of people who do good. Why do I say that? There's a principle that is called effective altruism, which in essence people use philanthropy in order to deflect the attention and the scrutiny from their actions. And in this case, SBF was the same. He was doing so much good that everyone was focusing on the good he was doing and how he was a billionaire philanthropist, and they were foregoing the scrutiny and the strict control that his company should have undergone. And therefore that is a really important lesson to always beware. The FTX scandal clearly demonstrated the fact that you should not borrow money to invest. I know there are some positives in this one, for example the leverage that you get from utilizing borrowed money, but also a higher risk comes with it. And we've seen in real life how SBF costed the millions of people's finances in order to invest without having his own capital to back it as a protection. Therefore, you should always beware borrowing money in order to invest, and always invest things that you can't afford to lose in terms of capital. These lessons on their own, they won't be enough. But if you couple them with this video here, it will 10x what you've learned, and it will make you a better investor and a wiser one. See you in the next one.